Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Narayanam Namaskrutya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Anonymous translations and purport by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasne. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I'm just doing the uploading part before we start our program. I'm just about to complete it in a minute, please. So devotees, hope all of you are doing well. And the intermediate program devotees, I'm really looking forward to your answers for next week's examinations. I have very high hopes from all of you, and the tutors and all have worked very hard to train you, and that's how today, in short notice, also we did our program for revising and memorizing of the verses. So it is very important that you have this kind of tutor and teaching. It's unfortunate. It's very fortunate for you guys. I did not have this situation. So I always wanted it in a way that I will say, I'll create, if Krishna wants, well, when I started it, I did this way, that we should create a system where when any new devotee joins the Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada's movement, then we can hold their hand right from the beginning and take knowledge, information, thereby purifying both the person who is sharing the knowledge, because that person is also learning, and one who is getting the knowledge, because that person is obviously learning. So both ways, everybody benefits, So that was my wish and my prayer. And by the extreme college mercy of Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada, for now, all of you in the intermediate program, the devotees, you are getting that benefit, So I hope and pray that you make the most of this benefit, and we can start this process. And one day you will also be training devotees who will be under you, So that will be the perfection, really, where this process can continue. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Can everybody see me? If you can just speak a bit loudly so I can understand. I can't see you all.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Can see you.
Okay,
and
all
can
can see
hear
you.
you.
Okay. Very nice. Hare Krishna. I see we've got another new devotee person joining today. Subhash Shaini. Is it from you, Sanjay Prabhu? Somebody joining from your side?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's the same person joined last week also,
okay.
From Rajasthan. Yes.
Yes. Very nice. Very nice. I see Anand ji again joined us. Very nice. Okay. Hare Krishna. All right. So today we are discussing how, if a society is where if there is a lot of passion is more in the society, if ignorance is more, then what actually happens in the society? When we think that we are today seeing the whole world was actually crippled, till last year in the form of coronavirus. There are people who accepted it to be real, others did not. So many deaths were there, so many controversies, and more wars, famine, hypocrisy, everything is there. And we think that this exists only in Kali Yuga, and this level of hypocrisy exists only here now. That's actually not true, because hypocrisy exists since the time that human being is born. Wherever the purification is not there of the body and of the life, the hypocrisy takes over. And in the past, in the other ages, the facility of self-realization, where people were more commonly knowing about the process of self-realization, it was more commonly accepted. Not like what we see today in our in Kali Yuga, where people are not having that facility or inclination. Facility may be there, but the inclination is not there to take advantage of associating with the higher modes. The thing is this, that in any society where living beings, majority of them, are suffering from the modes of passion and ignorance, Rajagun and Tamagun, that society will always be facing troubles. There will be problem where people will be not very happy and peaceful. Even if you want to be peaceful, people will not make you happy and peaceful. They will make sure that you are in trouble, You'll be surprised to know that even amongst your family also, there may be some people or your friends who may be envious of you, because you are happy, so they are unhappy. As I say, that if you get less marks, if you get, say, second grade, not number one, you're number two, then you are a little sad. But especially if your friend gets number one, you're even more sad, That is the problem. We are hypocritic people, So one of the qualities which a devotee has is that he or she is very happy when others are happy, and they are unhappy when others are suffering, not vice versa. And I can tell you, if you are like this, then those people who can know this a little bit, they will appreciate this. Not everybody will appreciate, but those who are a little clever, they'll appreciate that this particular person is actually trying to help me, support me, even at the time when nobody else was supporting me, So this particular incident about mode of passion, it was from Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially this is where, in very, very old age, olden times, Narad Muni was considering cursing, and he considered all these things. He's a great sage, Narad Muni. So he considered this way, where people who are very rich and forward, they would not consider saintly people about this. Very soon, we are going to come to the Kartik Mass will start, And in Kartik Mass, this particular pastime relates to that. So I just thought, why don't we have the mood starting from now? So when Nalakuvar and Manigriva, when they were cursed to become trees, Arjuna trees, Yamala Arjuna trees, just before that, this was the whole consideration which Narad Muni had. Curse is not given by, when any personality has got the power to curse somebody, they don't use it lightly, and they never use it for personal sense gratification. That is the point, If we have the power to curse somebody, then we will be very happily cursing everybody, Left, right, center. Those who does not, agree with me, I'm going to curse you. Become a goat, or become a cow, become a rabbit, become a mouse. This is how we do it, But that is not the case with people who have this power. That's why this power is very delicately given, not to everybody, but to some people. So here, this is what, when Narad Muni were passing through, and he saw that this Naraku and Manigriva, sons of Kuvera, very great personality, very rich, super rich. They ignored him. They were still enjoying themselves naked with other prostitutes. The prostitutes were very afraid. They covered their bodies, but these two guys, they said they were rolling their eyes like this, with intoxication. The eyes going like this. They were so intoxicated, So Narad said, okay, become a tree, I remember I was talking to a friend of mine, It was not Indian background. Indian background is a little different, but still. I told him that, if people like to walk naked, in the next life, you'll become trees. He said, I don't mind becoming a tree. He told me, are you fool? Only a fool. Without thinking, don't speak. And I said, you'll be standing naked for hundreds of years and thousands of years. And somebody cuts you, you cannot even protest, man. You can't even run away. You'll be forced to give shelter, even if to the person who's trying to damage you. This is tree life. But people are very whimsical. They don't understand. They think that I can gain knowledge myself. Why should I need scriptures? Why should I need knowledge from some realized souls? So that's how Srila Prabhupada has taught this to the whole world. It's very unique. It's a process to study. Only pure devotional service has made sure that the Prabhupada's, Krishna made sure that Prabhupada's Vani were conducive enough for people to study and listen to him. So Narad Muni, while considering to curse these two brothers, Nalakua and Manigriva, he thinks like this. Hanyate pashavo yatra nihdayer ajitatmabhihi manyamaner imam deham ajara mrityu nashwaram. See, so the very first word here it is said that hanyate means to be killed, So especially when there is animals, innocent animals been killed in slaughterhouses. We are human beings. If we have been bought and sold for money, we will know, no slavery. And we are bought and sold for, cutting off, being chopped off, we will know, Animals are innocent to that extent. They don't know. So when society allows animals to be killed, hanyate, pashavo yatra, the very first word is. Pashava means animals, four-legged animals, pashu, four-legged animals, like horse, sheep, cows, hogs, pigs. Nirdayer ajitatmabhihi. So nirday, mercilessly, the persons who are in mode of passion, they don't think too much. Ajitatmabhihi. So rascals who are unable to control their senses. Jita means to control. Ajita means uncontrolled. You cannot control. Atmabhihi means one's own self. They cannot control it. I like to eat it, so I'm going to eat. Hey, this is going to give me strength, But there is also rascaldom. There is no strength in it. I'll tell you that in the course of our discussion. There is no strength in being vegetarian. Is more strength, gives you more strength than in non-vegetarian. Then third line says manya mane imam deham. So manya manya, with the mind they're thinking. What are they thinking? Imam deham, this body that I've got. The last sentence is ajara mrityu nashwaram. See, ajara means it will never be dead. This body that I've got is never going to become old or diseased. Amrityu, ajara, amrityu. Amrityu means death will never come. Mrityu means death. Amrityu means no mrityu. So they think that this body will never be growing old or diseased and death will never come. Nashwaram. Nashwaram means nashta. It is never going to be annihilated or destroyed. Okay. They think like this. You see? So it is said that unable to control their senses, the rascals, what given here is rascals who are proud, who are falsely proud of their riches or their birth in aristocratic families, are so cruel that they maintain their perishable bodies with such, which they think will never grow old and die. They kill poor animals without mercy. The first thing they do. So the word used here, it is mentioned in Bhagavatam, rascals. This kind of people, who think that my birth in an aristocratic family, that's it. I've got a lot of money, so that's it. I don't care about other people. I don't care about other living beings. Nothing, So this body is not going to grow old. I'm going to enjoy myself. And I'm going to kill these poor people, poor animals, without mercy. And it said that sometimes they kill animals merely to enjoy an excursion. This is very much prevalent in India. olden kings and all used to go, but not ordinary people nowadays. They don't go to kill animals. We're too busy in the cities in India. But in the Western countries like New Zealand, everywhere, New Zealand, England, USA, Germany, all of them, they go and kill. They go out. It's winter season. Very nice. It is duck shooting season. So they wear all these gears, they carry their gun, wear their cap and camouflage and all that, and they go and kill whom? They go and kill a duck. How foolish it is to kill a duck. And they all are very happy about this. And if they are more expert, then they go to bigger mountains and all, and they go and kill a deer, and they will again go and kill a pig. The pig is the boar is huge. I've seen a boar, man. It was about, the length was about 4 meters long, with tusk and all that. My God, it's painful to see that deer and to see that boar, And once the boar starts to run, they run. They drop their gun and they run. But with the ducks, they are very duck, kill duck. So I met one person in New Zealand, here. Unfortunately, he was an Indian body, born in another country. So I said, man, why do you kill man, duck and all that? He told him. He said, no, sir. Duck has to be killed, It is a sport, nice sport, such a nice thing. If I don't kill duck, what will I do? Well, man, why don't you go and kill a tiger or a lion, man, or a boar with your hands? To kill a duck, you'll get a big gun and wear a cap and everything that you do, Foolish person. This is how it is. This is how rascals they are. Complete rascal. Total rascal. He was a jolly person. I was laughing with him quite a bit, So funny he was. So now, what are the symptoms when the mode of passion and ignorance, Rajagun and Tamagun, when they are more prevalent in a society? So what are the symptoms of the society? So what are the symptoms of this? Say that it is giving rise to unnecessary economic development. Prabhupada writes this. This is the first symptom. That means economic development is needed, but unnecessary. That means you have enough money to eat nicely, sleep nicely, stay in a nice house, grow your home, but no, I want to have more and more and more and more. There is no time for self-realization. Society just wants more and more. That's why Prabhupada writes this, that unnecessary economic development happens when there is more Rajagun and Tamagun. Now, amongst devotees also, this problem exists. So you find out, if you have this problem, then what modes you are in. See, if you're satisfied with what you've got, you're very happy. So, second, depend upon Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that one who is dependent upon me, one who is dependent upon the gains that comes out of its own accord, Krishna says, he lives very peacefully. He's my devotee. Right? So this is one thing, first thing, unnecessary economic development. The second thing is this, that with this unnecessary economic development comes the involvement of wine, women, and gambling. These three things people get used to. You must see this. Anyone who's unnecessarily more rich, and that's okay. Rich, you can be devotees, are also very rich people. They're not paupers. But if the greed is there with it, then this wine, women, and gambling, the attachment to this is very heavy. That's why it exists. If you are not greedy about economic development, if you're satisfied with what you've got, automatically you'll be more sattvic. Way out of these two modes, passion and ignorance. You are in goodness. So devotees should be very particular about this point, especially after 50 years, you must be very careful about this. Now we don't know, in this age of this Kali Yuga, coronavirus and all that, after 50, devotees may not have that much money to safeguard, and attain Vanaprastha stage, But please, we must try to depend upon Krishna somehow or other. Depend upon the acharyas who are teaching us knowledge. Then automatically we will be very peaceful. Krishna arranges everything. No point in just taking from Krishna all the time. Let us also cut ourselves off from these material entanglements. That will please Krishna. We cannot give anything to Krishna. Okay. Now the third thing is that big slaughterhouses are maintained to kill animals. With wine, women, and gambling, meat eating is prevalent. And occasionally, excursions to kill animals exist. Just for enjoyment. Why are you killing it? Just like that? Somebody should come and kill you. Why did you kill him? Just like that. Let him go. And then what happens is the court will say, good argument. So you are not punished. If this is what the court will say, will you be happy? No. But we are very happy to kill animals just like that for happiness. I feel very happy to kill animals. Right, rascals. And then we want to be happy. How can we be happy? There is no happiness in this. Okay. Then fourth thing, what happens is that forgetting that one may try to maintain the body. However, one may try to maintain the body, one forgets this point. No matter what you do to keep the body healthy, the body is subject to birth, death, old age, and disease. Even if you take particular care, you'll be diseased. Such foolish rascals engage in sinful activities, one after another. See, this is the fourth thing that happens in the society. And then, fifth thing that happens is that these people being duskritis, they completely forget there is Supreme Controller, there is God who oversees everything and who's sitting in the heart as a witness. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. The fifth thing that they completely forget this point. They completely forget that we are like yantra rudani maya. The body is like a yantra, a machine. They forget this. They don't know this. Supreme Controller who gives and notes down everything of our activities. So the sixth thing is that the Supreme Controller as Paramatma is observing everything of our activity, and he rewards and punishes everyone by giving a suitable body made of material nature. Brahmayam Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudani Maya. It's a very nice verse in 1861. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Ruddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. First two lines. So Ishvara, Krishna, Sarva Bhutanam, of all living beings. Riddeshe. Rid means heart. Rut. See, HRT is Sanskrit word. In English, it has become HEART, heart. Same word. Root word is Rut. Rut Deshe Arjuna Tishtati. Desha means place. Desha means doesn't mean country. Desh means country also. Desh means village also. Desh means city also. Desh means one's body also. It's a very long word, very broad word. Many times in India they say which desh you are coming from. Kaunsa desh se hai aap? Means which country you are from. Similarly, they say which desh means which village you are from. So in Sanskrit it is desh means also your own body. Rudra deshe Arjuna tishtati. So Krishna is saying that I am situated in everyone's heart, in everybody. And then he says, Brahmyan Sarva Bhutani Yantarudhani Maya. Means your body is like a machine, an instrument. And I'm sitting in the heart of this body and I'm witnessing everything, your karmas. And that's why I reward and punish you according to your, and give you suitable bodies by material nature. They give you according to your actions. So if you are happy of something, It's a good karma speaking. If you're unhappy about something, it's a bad karma speaking. So we should have the idea, the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, how to even burn this seed of the karmas. You see? And Maharaj says, you will know somebody's karmas are burning, the skin will glow. You know? That person's skin is glowing. You will know. Some people's skin glows, some devotees, you know. So you will see, Maharaj says, this is the skin will glow. One devotee was telling me about Maharaj's class. You know? So, in this way, sinful persons automatically receive punishment of different types of bodies. Birth after birth, birth after birth. So the root cause of this punishment is that one unnecessarily accumulates wealth. Unnecessary. Accumulating wealth is good enough, but unnecessary. Grabbing, stealing, you know, one becomes more and more degraded, not knowing that his wealth will be finished in the next birth. So that a queen passed away, you know, such a great birth she had of England, you know, such much riches and all that. What will be the next birth? We don't know. According to her karma. Then she cannot go and tell this Yamaraj, oh, I was the queen. So what? Stand in the queue. That's how it is. And await your punishment. Await your punishment. So, with regards to the food aspect, even if you just take one aspect, the society becomes cruel. So what kind of food should a human being eat? If we just try to control this change in our behavior, comes with the kind of food that we eat. You know? So what kind of food should we eat? If we change and if we eat certain kind of food, then automatically things will start to improve. They say, na sadhu manye yata atmano yam asanapi kleshada asadeh. So here animal killing is completely prohibited, he said. That's it. Every living being, of course, has to eat something. People say no. So what do we eat then? We understand this. Jivo jivasya jivanam. This is a principle of life. Means jivo jivasya jivanam, meaning what? That a living being is subsistent, is living only on other living beings. That is correct. But one should be taught what kind of food one should take. Yes, we cannot eat stones and non-living things. We have to eat living things. Vegetables also living. We understand this. But how and what food has to be eaten, there's a training for it. Now in the Ishopanishad, it is mentioned, Tena Jaktena Bhunjitha. Means every living being has got a particular quota which they have been allotted. Quota of money, quota of food, quota of life, quota of breath, quota of happiness, quota of unhappiness. Every living being, as soon as he is born, she is born, this is given to them according to past karma. That's it. So don't blame anybody else. Why am I suffering? Why is Krishna doing this to me? Hey, don't bring Krishna in this. It's your actions. You have made a mess, you suffer. Be responsible for this. Don't make Krishna responsible for it. or any other living being responsible for it. Because of you, I am like this. Because of you, I get angry. All these things have got no meaning. Take some responsibility for actions. In Krishna, the word Krishna, the lettering is K-R-I-S-H-N. The R means responsibility. A devotee is a very responsible person. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what kind of food should be offered to me? It is very simple, given in the chapter 9, verse 26. He says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahrutam asnami prayatatmanaha. So, in this particular verse, Krishna is instructing what kind of food should be offered. He says, if one offers me with love and devotion, it's very important, love and devotion, If one offers me with love and devotion a flower, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. You see, a devotee therefore does not eat anything that would require slaughterhouses for poor animals. Krishna doesn't ask for poor animals. He doesn't say, give me chicken, mutton, goat, or whatever it is, obnoxious things. He just said, what did he say? Give me some water. Everybody has water. Some leaf, you can have tulsi leaf. If you're in India, it's very readily available. Any leaf will do, edible leaf. Offer it to Krishna if you have nothing to do. If you have nothing to offer. Some flower you offer to Krishna. Some fruit. Even if you have no water to offer, at least you cry for Krishna. That's water is offering to Krishna. You see, a devotee takes prasad of Krishna. Tena chakyana bhunjita. So he's not intruding in someone else's privacy and quota. And Krishna recommends that one give him patram pushpam phalam toya. He says, leaf, water, flower, fruit, water. That's it. Animal food is not recommended for human beings. Instead, a human being is recommended to take prasad, remnants of food offered by Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned, 3rd chapter, say yagna shishta shinaha santo muchyante sarvakil vishai. He said one should offer food offering the yagna first. That is what we offer to Krishna as a yagna every day when you cook. So if one practices eating prasadam, even if there is some little sinful activity involved, one becomes free from the results of sinful acts. That is the point. That is to be understood. You see? So this is what we studied in the first point. For people, living beings who are, when society has got more of passion and ignorance, then this is what happens. The second part, Narad Muni is thinking. He says, Deva samgnitam apyante krumi vid bhasma samgnitam bhutadruktat krute swartham kima veda narayoh yataha. So see, the first one he says that those people, unable to control the senses, rascals who are falsely proud of their riches and their birth in aristocratic families, are so cruel that to maintain their perishable bodies, which they think will never grow old or die, they kill poor animals without mercy. This is what they do. Sometimes they kill animals merely to enjoy an excursion. Second thing he's thinking, he's saying that, see, this is more hard hitting, He's thinking that Deva Samgnitam Apyante. So Deva Samgnitam means the body which is now very exalted, like president's body, prime minister's body, or even demigod's body, Deva's body. Even if this is so exalted, this body, Ante, at the end, the death, after death. See now, the second line is Krumi vid bhasma samgnitam. Krumi. Krumi means turns into worms. A worm. The body that we are so happy turns into worms. Then second is with, means into stool. Bhasma samgnitam, or into ashes. These three things the body turns into. We had one situation some time ago where a bird died, in our outside the veranda in our house, outside the garden area. And I was so busy, I couldn't take away the bird, It remained there for about 3 days, something like 2-3 days, And then I could take it out. But I took it out, there were worms inside the bird. Full of worms, eating nicely, the whole bird. So it says that when the body of maybe of any exalted person, like president, prime minister, or even Deva, a demigod, even if so exalted, after death, it turns into worms, or into stool, or into ashes. This is Bhutadruk Tatkrute Swartham. Bhutadruk. A person who does not accept the Shastric injunctions, what is mentioned in the Shastra scriptures, is unnecessarily envious of other living entities. So if you are not envious, you will not kill anybody else. You are killing only because you are envious. Is it not so? You may say that I kill because it gives me protein, animals should be killed and all these things you may say. Ultimately, you are an envious person. That's why you're killing other animals. If you're not envious, you will not kill anybody. Even mentally, you will not kill anybody. You want to speak ill about anybody. So Bhuta Druk. Bhuta means other living entities. Druk means those person who does not accept Shastric injunctions and is unnecessarily envious of other living entities. Tatkrute Swartham. So by acting in this way, Swa Artham is self-interest, Kim Veda Nirayo Yataha, the last line says. Kim means who is there, who knows, because from such sinful activities, one must suffer hellish conditions. So here is very clear information given here. In this verse, anybody says, I eat non-vegetarian food, what will happen? This is the verse. It says that, obvious translation. So while living, one may be proud of one's body, thinking oneself as a very big man, minister, president, or even demigod. But whatever one may be, after death, this body will turn into worms, into stool, or into ashes. If one kills poor animals to satisfy the temporary whims of this body, one does not know how he will suffer in his next birth. For such a sinful miscreant must go to hell and suffer the results of his actions. Here it is mentioned. Nirahya yataha. Because of so sinful activities, one must suffer hellish conditions. The last word, Kim Veda Niro Yataha. Niraha Yataha. Remember this verse. 10, 10, 10. Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the verse. If you eat non-vegetarian food, you will suffer in the next birth. If you get sinful reaction, you must get hell. You must go to hell, it is mentioned. Must go to hell and suffer the results of his actions. So anybody asks, give this verse, 10, 10, 10. Now, eating non-vegetarian food will lead one to suffer in his next birth. This is the point to be understood. You see, in this particular verse, the three words, krumi with bhasma, are significant. Those three, where after death, the body may become krumi, which means worms, or else eaten by hogs and vultures and be turned into stool. So your body, which you take care, nicely shave, apply perfume, nice hair, nice makeup. After you die, worms will eat you. Or you will turn to worms, or else other living beings, vultures, hogs, whoever, they will eat you. And they'll pass stool from your body, off your body. And those who are civilized, they burn the body, dead body. So it becomes ashes. Bhasma samknitam. So krumi means worms, with means stool, and bhasma means become ashes. These three things happen to the body. Yet although the body will turn into worms, stool, or ashes, foolish persons, just to maintain it, commit many sinful activities. This is very, very regrettable. It's very regrettable. You see, now what happens is this, that we are being told that we must eat animals and birds to get strength. Otherwise, we will not get strength, it is said. Now I can tell you one thing. This is another fraud by meat industry. Just like some years ago, I used to tell you that they have now accepted, the scientists and the big corporates, they say scientists accepted that this big corporates who are in sugar industry, like, these soft drinks and all that, soft drinks are so injurious to one's body because the sugar content is so high in soft drinks, all your Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola and all those, whatever they are, I don't know name all of them or some of them, but they'll sue me, but whatever it is, nonsense. They wanted people to drink their drinks, and that's why they did a big research. And the big research, they paid the scientists, and the scientists went and said, oh, you know what? If you have ghee, butter, cheese, that is bad for health. So last 30-35 years or plus, the whole of medical industry are telling you, you must eat less oil, less ghee, or no oil, no ghee. Agreed. It's very bad for health. Agreed, 100%. It is bad for health. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, worse was this soft drink industry, this sugar industry, pre-packed food and all those things. They admitted 5 years ago to the world to say that, yeah, we paid scientists, and we took people away from soft drink thinking and start thinking only about your butter and ghee and cheese and all that. That is bad. Man, such a big fraud. It's total fraud. I went and met my doctor at the time. He teaches other people. He's now nearly retired. I paid money and I said, I'll meet you. I said, what you guys? You guys are fraud, man. I told him. He said, how do I trust you? You talk about cholesterol and all that, I said, how can I trust you people? You people are committing fraud. Just now this thing came about, where instead of sugar industry, you are blaming this industry which is in fat, So they are bad. He said, agreed. He said, unfortunately, this is true. But, yeah, he admitted it. It was true. Similarly, another fraud is that which has been done and promoted by the meat industry. The meat industry says that you must eat meat to be strong, to get protein. It is another fraud. I'm telling you, it's another fraud. You would not believe me, would you? You won't believe me. But you will believe Netflix. Because you pay every month some money there. Rascals. Now all of you are complete rascals we are. Right? So now you have Netflix, then you watch this movie. This documentary is called, write down this name. It's called The Game Changers. Write down THE, The Game, GAME. Third word is Changers. The Game Changers. You watch this documentary. This documentary is produced by your Arnold Schwarzenegger, whatever is, Mr. Universe, and Jackie Chan, that Kung Fu guy. They are the producers of this movie, this documentary. And then they have documented and they have shown and proved this point that you do not require meat in your body to be strong. In fact, pure vegetarian diet, they talk about vegan diets. Okay. We are vegetarians, we drink milk and milk products. It's Krishnas, we are Krishnaites. We're not vegetarians, we are Krishnatarians, But they say you do not need any of these things. And they said it is a fraud been conducted. And this Arnold Schwarzenegger himself showed his own movies. We just come about just recently, where he's fighting with somebody else, the Rocky guy, and the Rocky guy punched him, So he said, what is this? You are fighting like a vegetarian. Ha, ha, ha. He showed his clip and he says, this was fraud. He said, this was fraud. Because it is a mainstream thing now. Everybody says, vegetarian means no food, you don't have strength. This is wrong. I'm a vegan. He said, I'm a vegan for so many years now. That And they interviewed and they showed top athletes in the world being vegetarians. And then finally said, that's okay, athletes, vegetarian, that's good enough, cycling and boxing. And they even showed that, what was that? It was mixed martial arts. My son would know the name. It's a mixed martial arts world championship. And McGregor.
Conor McGregor, UFC it's called.
Sorry?
Called UFC.
UFC, right, UFC. And what was it, McGregor? Was the guy with the beard, the British guy? Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
Conor.
UFC, sorry?
Conor McGregor, he's Irish.
Yeah, Conor McGregor, that's what, Irish. Now in UFC, Conor McGregor, he's a world champion. There's a world championship fight going on, right? About to start. And he was a champion. He's a champion. And he eats meat, he eats cow, beef, And his opponent was a vegetarian, vegan. So he said, they interviewed him. This is before the fight, in the fight, after the fight. They took him through this, So he said, before the fight, I roasted him in press conferences. He said, this fight is between a lion and a deer. He was laughing like this, and the whole world is laughing with him. I eat meat, I eat cow, I eat beef, This guy is eating grass. So this fight is no fight. This fight is between a lion and a grass-eating deer. No fight. He said, I roasted him in every press conference. I roasted him, and then a fight began. The fight stretched for a long time. And he said he lost. This McGregor, he lost and went in defeat. He said what happened was that about 7 days before the fight or 9 days before the fight, my intake of meat increased to 3 times full red meat. No, criminal. To eat morning, afternoon, evening, 3 times a day. So what happened was, he said that my body could not sustain that longevity in the fight. And it is true. All the top athletes and their coaches say that plant-based protein gives you more strength and sustains you longer than animal-based protein. He lost the UFC. This is given in the movie. Watch that movie. And at the end, they also showed a long-distance runner, marathon of 45 kilometers. He did it. He won, being vegetarian. And finally, the top of it, he said, now, what about the strongest? The world, there's something called strongest men, world's strongest men competition, where they lift, about 300, 400 kilos, and they would walk. So this guy is having people standing on both the sides, lifting and walking it. He was a vegan. He did it. Some 800 kilos, something like that, So this is a myth, they're saying, promoted by the meat industry, that meat gives you good strength and protein. It's vegetarian diet which gives you. They found out, those of you who are interested in this, in Greek, who were the fighters, who were trained fighters? In Greece,
in Romans, right? Gladiators.
Gladiators, excuse me, yeah, in Romans, gladiators. Gladiators are trained fighters, gladiators. So they would fight with each other for animals. They were pure vegetarians. They would not eat meat. They had plant-based diet. So anyone who says this, show them this Netflix on their face, and this particular verse. Show Bhagavatam 10:10:10. Right. So again, the name of this documentary movie, The Game Changers. All right. So the human form of life is actually meant. This is okay. Food eating is one thing, but how food affects our consciousness is important. The society has to be in the mode of goodness. And the kind of food is very important. A human form of life is meant for only Jivasya Tattva Jignasa. Enlightenment of environment through knowledge, enlightenment through knowledge of spiritual values. This is the purpose of human life. No other purpose. Not to become president, not to become prime minister, not to become rich, not to become father, become mother, nothing like that. Only one purpose of life. We all are born. There's only one purpose of life, especially human form. In human form, this is most easily attainable. That is enlightenment of spiritual values. So society has to be brought to this level. And this is possible through approaching the smart Gurum Prapadyeta. One should approach a spiritual master, a guru. And who's a guru? Shabde pare cha nishnatam. Once again. Shabde pare cha nishnatam. Means Shabde means knowledge. Pare means above the three modes. Mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Above that. Shabde pare. Transcendental it is called. Transcendental knowledge. So Nishnatam. He should be Nishnat in this. He should be well aware about this. He should have full knowledge of transcendence. He is a guru. Not that somebody can be voting and of this majority vote and you become a guru. It doesn't work like that. No. He is a self-effulgent guru, an acharya. Acharyavan Purusho Veda is mentioned in Chandogya Upanishad. One has full knowledge about life when one is Acharyavan, means controlled by the Acharya. You see? So when Acharya teaches a person, he becomes full knowledgeable. You see? So, but when somebody is unfortunately connected under Rajagun and Tamagun, he does not care about anything. Instead, he acts like ordinary foolish animal, even a human being, risking his life. Mrityu samsara vartamani. And therefore continuing the suffering after suffering. This birth, this birth, going on and on. The swarth, nate vidu swartha gatam hi vishnum. The foolish person, they do not understand what is their swarth, the self-interest is to alleviate himself using this body, this yantra being given to you, towards Vishnu. Nate vidu swartha gatam hi vishnum. Instead of it, what happens? He indulges in sinful activities and goes deeper and deeper into hellish life. This is the predicament of today's society. More and more people. So that's the reason why when society has got more people like this, there's going to be passion and ignorance. Now, not only ordinary people, even devotees, we fall victim to this. We think Krishna consciousness is something which is like sentimentality, you know. Radha, Radhe, 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 crying, ooh, this and that is going on and all drama is happening, man. Or name of Jesus Christ is crying and the name of Allah is crying and all these things. Okay, maybe, don't get me wrong. Maybe all glories to them. I'm not worrying about those people. What I'm saying is that Krishna consciousness, bhakti to Krishna is sentimental, yes, but more of it is action. See, the thing is this, that we have to change our own behavior. The biggest change we have to make is to realize that the world does not revolve around us. We are not the center of the universe. That's the first thing we have to realize. That change should happen in us rather than to the world. And what? Because we will bring this in our devotion also. See, Arjun had to kill all his gurus, man, in devotional service. How many of us can do it? See, he had to kill his Guru Drona. His direct guru. He had to kill Bhishma Pitamaha. He is guru. Only Krishna saved him. He's Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna and Bhishma Dev is also pure devotee, man. He was killed. Because on the wrong side, see? For whatever reason. Wrong side. So here is a point. World doesn't revolve around us. Arjuna thought, oh, how can I kill my guru? It is not possible. He gave all this bhashan before knowledge. he gave all this jnana to Krishna. How can we kill our gurus? It's better we give everything to them and we become beggars. We can beg for the whole life, like this. I can tell you, most of the people would say, he's right, man. He's correct. He's correct. Krishna should not instigate him. He wanted to become beggar, give everything to his family members. It's good. Krishna says, no, foolish person, fight with them. They are not going to say to the world that Arjuna gave it to us. They say Arjuna became afraid. That's why they gave it to me. You don't understand this, he said. Don't be foolish. And such personalities like Guru Drona and Bhishma Dev, Krishna could show his universal form to them. They were killed. Arjuna had to kill them. Not only that, when Krishna himself came as Saktavesha avatar, Parashuram, he had to kill his mother on the order of his father. Now you tell me, where is the question of emotional part in this? Is there any question of emotional part? Tell me. Sentimentality is action oriented. Duty is to be performed. These are things to be understood. Bhakti is not cheap. That's what Narasimha Mehta says, Bhakti na marg se che surano kairanu ne kamare. This mark, this path of Bhakti Yoga is for Shurvi, ferocious people who are ready to sacrifice everything. Not for people who are, want to just kair, who want to always hide behind something else and all these things, run away, not want to change. There's no question. So we as devotees should also change with this knowledge. We have heard this so many times. But how many of us flare up when people don't agree with us? You tell me. We are our friends. All of us are friends of each other. Till the time we agree with each other. The moment we disagree, we are enemies. And immediately we are enemies. Either you'll make animosity with your own friends. We make animosity with our own parents, with a disagree. With our own husband, with our own gurus also, we'll disagree. Flare up. And then with this, I'll chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare. Now you tell me, how much sense does it make to you? Now, how much opposite it is to real thinking. It's obnoxious. Guru Maharaj says this point, that when we flare up, when somebody disagrees, it's a very obnoxious life, obnoxious thinking, How can we go back to Godhead with this behavior? You tell me, if we were Krishna, if you were Krishna, would you allow a person like this to come to you in your home? Will you allow any person like this to come into your house who disagrees with others so they flare up? Will you allow? Tell me. How many of you will allow to come to his house, to your house? I will not allow. I will not allow myself to come into my house. I'm not talking about others. I'm talking about myself. The flaring up, Maharaj is foolishness, nonsense, Because what happens in Krishna, in Golok Vrindavan, we have to be subservient. Subservient meaning service, being servant to the seniors, our elders, our parents, our gurus, our seniors, as long as they are good to us, as long as they are good. Many Indian people with backgrounds of Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma, they're lucky. They still have got parents who love them. Don't get me wrong, others also are like this also. But we find many times in the West, this problem exists very heavily, that the parents themselves are very neglectful of the children. That is not the case, at least in India so far, with even this obnoxious way of life. The children are the first priority of parents. It's also going very badly nowadays because of lack of culture, but still. So, as if we are not subservient, and if we are very fortunate to have such kind of seniors, then there should not be any question of flaring up against these nice people. You are blocking your own progress. See, as juniors, any servant, if they are, Maharaj says, Maharaj would say, don't open your eyes like this in front of your parents. Oh, Maharaj would say like this, you have to be very careful, So eyes should not open like this, They're good enough, not possible. That's not true. So with our parents, with our seniors, who are well-wishers, we have to have good behavior. If we are not subservient to people who are our well-wishers, and we want to become subservient to Krishna, all the best. All the best. Ambrish, all the best to you. Oh God. And we think that, what we think, right now we know our own weaknesses. We say, right now I know I'm not pure, but when I become pure, I will automatically become subservient. I can tell you, this is what we think. We forget. To become pure devotee, we must become subservient first. But because we don't want to become subservient, we say, when I become pure devotee, I'll become subservient. Don't get me wrong. We don't want to be exploited by people. That is not our reason. We are not to be exploited. We always said that. So don't get me wrong with subservient knowledge, information. So we have got our whole bhakti process wrong. First is to practice being subservient, perform our bhakti. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim. Koitam bhajatam sam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this. What is this, Krishnadas? Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti ahaituki tvai. So I don't want any beautiful woman. I don't want any followers. I don't want any riches. I just want to become a simple servant of Krishna. That's it. That's it. Then our bhajan kriya will be nice. And we will miss the point when we perform this bhajan, our bhajan kriya, that we have to change our own behavior. So we are all victims of this snare of Maya. I don't care how I behave. I will independently do whatever I want to do, changing my behavior. I will achieve Shri Radha Krishna's prem. Then I'll change my behavior. None of us will allow this kind of people to come into our house and stay with us. We will not. So please, this is our wake-up call. Today is our wake-up call for all of us, especially for me. This passion and ignorance in the society, we are also living in the same society. Because it is in us, passion and ignorance. That's why it is existing in the society. So we have to change. We should not become someone who cannot be taught. This is the worst thing that we can do to our own progress as a human being. Don't be a person who cannot be taught. This rascaldom should stop totally. Only then chanting would be beneficial. Otherwise, chanting will not be beneficial. It will not be beneficial. There's no question about it. So now, the solution part. This is the problem. Solution is this. How do we find a solution? The solution is this, that we have to find out those sadhus, those pure devotees, who can give us this knowledge. Srila Prabhupada are one for giving us this knowledge. There are a few verses which talks about this kind of people. When you find this kind of people, don't change them. Don't go with what you have been told by others. No, we are teaching you so that all of us will become our own judge. Don't accept somebody which others are telling you to do. They may be foolish. You don't know. We are training you perfectly so that we don't be foolish. We won't be cheated. So these are the people from whom we can get knowledge. Society can change. We can change. So the first verse is Bhavad Vida Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhutah Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gadabhruta. Said, my Lord, this is spoken by Yudhishthira Maharaj to Vidur, Mahatma Vidur. He says, my dear, my Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart, you turn all places into places of pilgrimage. You see, a pure devotee like Vidur always feels the presence of Lord everywhere. That's why he sees everything in the potency of the Lord and the Lord in everything. So to go to holy place of pilgrimage does not mean that one take a bath in Ma Ganga or Ma Yamuna or visit some temples situated in those places. No. To go to holy places means you must find out some pure devotees and take instructions from them. But we are so fortunate. We can take instruction from Srila Prabhupada sitting in our own home. And when we go to places of pilgrimage, we will carry those instructions in our heart and implement it in our behavior. You see, pure devotees hear from authorities and chant, sing, and write the glories of the Lord. See, Mahamuni Vyasadeva heard from Narad, and then he chanted in writing. You see, so he heard from Narad Muni, Vyasadeva, his guru, and then he chanted in writing. He wrote his chanting, don't you? Shukdev Goswami studied from his father, and he described it to Parikshit. This is the way of Srimad Bhagavatam. So by their actions, the pure devotees of the Lord can render any place into a place of pilgrimage. And the holy places are worth the name only on their account. Because holy places are known as holy places because of the devotees there. Such pure devotees are able to rectify the polluted atmosphere of any place. What to speak of holy place rendered unholy by questionable actions of interested people who try to adopt a professional life at the cost of the reputation of the holy place. You know, many of them are there. Prabhupada writes this. They adopt a professional life, living in the holy place, you know, and making money. Second verse is Mahad Vichalanam Nrunam Gruhinam Dina Chetasam Niha Shreyasyasya Bhagavan Kalpate Nanyatha Kvachit. See, oh my Lord, oh great devotee, persons like you move from one place to another for their own interest, not for their own interest, but for the sake of poor-hearted grihasthas, householders. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another. So this is where Nand Maharaj are glorifying Garga Muni, no? Being a pure devotee. So he's saying that great devotees, person like you is selling Garga Muni. They move from one place to another, not for their own interest, but for the sake of poor-hearted grihasthas. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another. They're very happy sitting in one place because they are with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why it is said that it's very important that we mind our own business. If our focus is our own bhakti, then we will not be interested in moving here and there, running around all these places. You see, householder's life is always with so many issues: family, making money, running around. So householder life is always thinking about these things, which are very obnoxious, lower grade. Money, material things, they have to do it. They have children, they've got to take care of the parents. In fact, the householders take care of the other brahmacharis and grihasthas also. And sorry, sannyasis also. You see? So they have to constantly dirty their hands doing a lot of things. So it is said that during the milking of the cow take place in the morning, just for that much time, these sadhus, they go to their place and stand there. And the householders give them the milk and listen, wait for the instructions to be given by the sadhus. That's what Nand Maharaj are telling this to Garga Muni. And then he says this, that Nunam Bhagavato Brahman Gruheshu Graha Medhinam Na Lakshate Hi Avasthanam Apigo Dohanam Kvachit. She is a powerful Brahmana. It is said that you hardly stay in the houses of men long enough to milk a cow. So there are three different verses. The saints or sages who are in the renounced order of life go to the houses of householders at a time of milking of the cows only in the morning and ask for some quantity of milk for subsistence. A pound of milk. There's sound somewhere. So they ask for a pound of milk, fresh milk, from the milk bag of the cow, and that is sufficient to feed a human being with all the vitamin values. So the saints and the sages live only on milk. They don't have too much money, too much spending of all this different paraphernalia of food and all that. So even a poor of the poor householder can keep at least 10 cows at a time, delivering 10, 20 quarts of milk. So it is a duty of the householders to maintain saints and sages like children. This Prabhupada writes this. So just as saints like Shudev Goswami would hardly stay at a house of a householder for more than 5 minutes in the morning. In other words, such saints are very rarely seen in the houses of householders. And Parikshit Maharaj therefore prayed to him to instruct him as soon as possible. Householders also should be intelligent enough to get some transcendental information from visiting sages. The householder should not foolishly ask a saint to deliver what is available in the market. Tell me, how do I make money? So nice, Prabhupada writes, the householder should not foolishly ask a saint to deliver what is available in the market. That should be the reciprocal relation between saints and the householders. So Krishna consciousness movement is this moment where ordinary people can become saints and sages. And for that, before we change the society, let us change our own self. Do not think that devotees come to our house because we call them. Do not think devotees honor prasadam with us because they are hungry. No, there is not needed much. There is not much needed. If at all, we are very fortunate to have some association of such kind of nice, sincere devotees. We must be very careful what we ask, how we ask. Our behavior is not unnecessarily disturbing to them. Maharaj told me once, devotees' time is very precious. We should not waste their time, devotees' time. It's very precious. Now you may think that he's not making money. He's sitting in one place and reading and chanting and all this. What? He's got all the time. I'm very busy. I have to go to work. I'm going to business. I'm earning some money. I should find time. I should find leave and all those things. Wow. This is obnoxiousness. Krishna is not interested in you if you are behaving like this with the money and all that. He's interested in him, that person who's investing his time in Krishna. So with this, as more and more of us, Srila Prabhupada has started this whole movement with this intention. And as more and more of us become saints and sages, the society will gradually and automatically be uplifted from mode of passion and ignorance into pure goodness. And there will be Vaikuntha atmosphere in this material world that we live in. This is the purpose of Srila Prabhupada's movement. It's a very important movement. Nobody else has given this information so clearly. And people from any status of the spiritual development can come to the highest stage. Only Srila Prabhupada is given this opportunity and this knowledge and the ability to do so. So we should be very careful how we understand this knowledge, how we digest this knowledge, how we act on this knowledge, and how do we inspire others on this knowledge. That is the point. When we are inspiring with our actions, others will be inspired. Otherwise, they will not be inspired. This is what I understood from these discussions and today's class on what happens when modes of passion and ignorance are prevalent in a society, and how do we change it? How do we control it? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anyone wants to say anything or have any questions? You please feel free to speak. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for giving a nice class, covering so many points, important points, as a reminder to us, do's and don'ts. So, Prabhu, you covered that point of non-vegetarian very nicely, that how foolish we are to actually be eating non-vegetarian food. So while we are talking about non-vegetarian food, I come across this kind of thing, and when we talk to people, and so any food, when that food is actually non-vegetarian, means vegetarian food can also be non-vegetarian because of the manufacturing process, or because of some additive into this, or because of more. Can you throw some light on that?
So you are saying where because of the additive process?
Yeah, additive process. Yeah, even normal food becomes non-veg, because when we educate people and we talk to them, that yeah, we follow that process of what to eat, what not to eat, and how to actually do it. And that food means even small quantity of additive in a bread or in any food, that is become non-vegetarian food. It's had the same
Yes.
potential.
Oh, yes, I understand now. Yeah, absolutely right. There's so many food which you may think it is vegetarian, These are non-vegetarian with so many food additives. So as we normally do, even the breads, not all bread are vegetarian, Not all cheese are vegetarian. Because India is a special country, You've got the majority, so many vegetarian people are there, So, but those outside of India, one has to be very careful. With the cheese, there's gelatin. Gelatin is from cow's gut. The breads have got also non-vegetarian. So many issues. In the USA, the milk which you drink, the milk has got bones, crushed bones. They're in what to do? You tell me. So thank God you're not in America. Those in America have to be careful about that too, They put crushed bones for additional calcium. Such obnoxious things are there. So we have to be very careful with what we do. How we do. Is it what you want to know, Avinash?
Yes, Prabhu. Even India is progressing very fast, Prabhu. India is world's 5th largest economy. So it's not that everything is good in India. Yeah, I've come across those breads and foods. We have not discussed this kind of situations in our classes yet. So devotee will not know what I'm talking about. But since you covered that non-vegetarian point, I said, okay, we should also tell them that there are chances that the food may have actually been processed on that. Yeah.
Absolutely right. So in India, there are so many, India, there are so many food items which they import from other countries, you know. So when they do that, other countries, you have to be careful about what the ingredients are. Don't automatically think that it's available from the Indian shop, so it is vegetarian. No, your cheese and all that, you have to be expertly reading it. They don't care. Very, very careful. Very, very particular. That's why I think most of the Indian paneer is also made of water buffalo, not of cow. So you cannot offer water buffalo paneer and all that to Krishna. So you have to be very careful. This is a problem in India. In New Zealand, it's a different thing. You get a lot of milk from cows, but those cows are gone for slaughtering in India, in New Zealand. In India, they don't slaughter. So you've got all kind of mixed things going on everywhere. So so yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
We get so much.
Sorry, I remember when we started in Krishna consciousness with all of you, and we used to have that list of, because being a chemical engineer, I understand most of the emulsifier, it's very common to actually the source of those chemicals, emulsifier can be animal based. Oils, a lot of oils made from animals. So you don't know which emulsifier is from what source coming. So I remember we used to carry that list. And I think this is a specialty of our group. I can probably say that Hare Krishna weekend, we are actually even particular about these things, what goes in our body. This is our specialty, because I've seen people all along. Like we talk about chocolates, we talk about those things. Yeah, this is emulsifier can be animal based. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, thank you. That's right. Emulsifier 471. Some of them we remember, 471 is also plant-based, animal-based. So one has to find out what it is. Then there are drinks available, V and B and whatever it is called. So they got crushed from the bones of some insects and all. So completely obnoxious. And they win some prizes and awards and all that, Foolish. So especially for devotees who are living in India, when you buy anything from Indian shop, made in America, made in New Zealand, very happy. Don't be like this. You'll be very scared. Read what is going on, what is written there, nonsense, Search out what is emulsifier, this nonsense is there. And say, I don't want it. And tell them, this is not vegetarian. Gelatin, moment you write gelatin, it is cow, gut from the cow. Obnoxious, completely obnoxious. We tell, clean up, please. When we do shopping in shopping places, we say, can you please clean up in the supermarket, before they put this thing, scanning our items. So please clean up. The barcode and all that, they clean the barcode. And then all things are done, Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think, just I wanted to mention, because Avinash Prabhu brought that matter up. Because even as Amrish Prabhu mentioned, we have to check everything. But be careful, because most of the devotees, I think normally they make a mistake. They look at the ingredients and say, oh, nothing looks like a non-vegetarian here. And they choose it. Even there is no claim that this is vegetarian. So that's the biggest mistake you can do, because there are a lot of loopholes, because I'm working in compliance now, so I'm realizing it. So certain like a fish, is not required to be declared by law in many markets. So that's why they do not make a claim that this is vegetarian. But a lot goes up behind the background. To make a actually vegetarian or vegan claim, you have to go to the accreditation body and you have to prove that. And even because I'm working in that field, Prabhuji, I know actually we claim a lot of products, but we do not have information for all the ingredient that goes in. And we ask supplier, can you provide this? And so we don't know, Then he gives some statement. So there are a lot of question marks. Even there is claims and what are not made as well. So unless there is a proper claim, certified by someone, it is very hard to believe. Even in India, we sell product to India, and actually I was approving labels and say, oh, you need to put this non-vegetarian logo on this label. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. Nobody cares that much. But actually it has animal ingredients. You have to declare it. And he keep insisting, no, not required. But I said, by law, it is need to be required. So I'm not going to approve it until I put the logo on. So these are the things.
Good. Red stamp, the red stamp,
Red stamp, yeah. So, yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Because people who are approving, Prabhuji, they are all full with the faults, So.
Hare Krishna. My God. Eat simple food, don't worry about this jazzy thing. I'll tell you, more jazzy, the more you're suffering. Don't need to have this cheese and Coca-Cola and Pepsi Cola and this cola and that cola. Drink your normal water, sharbat, make it at home and drink. Very nice, You're very happy, Best. Those who are from India, living in India are so fortunate, so fortunate. We had sugarcane juice today, You don't get sugarcane juice in New Zealand, But there's a process in which you can make sugarcane juice without sugarcane. So my mother found out in India. She told my wife, and you made nicely. It tastes like sugarcane, so I'm going to have it for 2 days. So next time when you all meet, devotees in New Zealand, I'll talk to my wife. She'll give you the whole recipe. Very simple recipe. It'll taste exactly like sugarcane juice. It takes 5 minutes to make in mixture, and you'll be thanking me forever. Your next life, you'll thank me. Thank you very much. Sugarcane, oh my God, I have not had sugarcane for so many years, and I die. So there it is. I am having a heart full of contentment. My mother told me, you must have this, make this. I said, yes, we'll make it. But tell this to her, I don't remember. So India is very fortunate. Very fortunate. Yeah. Although all wrong is also there in India, still India is better than others. Bhagavatam is there. Bhagavad Gita was spoken in India, not in New Zealand. But we are speaking from New Zealand to India. That's another thing. It came from India to New Zealand to India. Otherwise, nobody will listen, If I'm in New Zealand, New Zealand, Bhagavad Gita, let's listen, man. So nice, man. It is very good. What are we doing, man? No problem. Whichever way, we're foolish people, Anyone else has to say something before we finish?
Hare Krishna, Bhagavad. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you very much for the nice class.
Sorry.
Yes, Mataji, you can speak.
Very good. Yes. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Who's speaking? I'm sorry.
Mataji wants to say something.
There was someone else trying to speak also, I think, right? Okay, so sorry. Me. Oh, Sanjeev Prabhu, you were trying to say something.
Yes, Mataji, but you speak first, Mataji. I'll speak after.
I was just thank you, Prabhuji. I was just trying to emphasize on this point that Avinash Prabhu and Shidal Prabhu were mentioning. So I found, like in India, how you have that green dot which says it's a vegetarian, but so many times it will have the green dot and then it will have gelatin or some ingredients like that. And I don't think they're very careful there as well. So what we do in New Zealand is that we have, supposing there is a product, so we'll do research on the product. And before there was a vegetarian society which published, all these different chemicals, which has all this. It's like a chemical jargon. There was a person who wrote book on this, the chemical maze, saying, what's all this E330 and E471 and all that. It's just something, a number to us, but what is it exactly? So my Prabhuji, what he did was he had a strategy that even if you know that this product is vegetarian, it has a stamp of being vegetarian or whatever, he would then make us call, or he would call himself the company and would check and ensure that actually it does not have any animal products. Except if it's milk, it's okay, for example, because milk is also considered as an animal product. So we would do that. We would check, and then we would also check whether sometimes the product itself might not have anything, but it will be made on the same line where there is non-veg products made. So then we try to avoid that as well. Or sometimes you might have, for example, just a simple item which in itself might not have anything, but there are similar products which are non-vegetarian as well. So then we try to avoid that. And in all that, I was just thinking, we are here in New Zealand for 22 years, but it has not been difficult. I'm sure all the Matajis will agree as well. What we have learned is it's as much as possible, if you can make from scratch, like from the raw product, that is the best thing. Make your own bread. You will learn everything. They say necessity is the mother of invention. So, when you want to be very innovative and all that, especially in preaching, you have to be, because in preaching, you cannot say you can't do this, you can't do that. You have to tell them, okay, you can't do this, but you can do this. The option should be there. Then it's very nice and palatable. So I remember, like, even for pizza, we make everything from raw materials, the bread, and there is pizza bread probably available, which may be vegan or whatever, but we don't choose to have that. So that is also good. And in that way, it's nice when your consciousness, when you're preparing for Krishna, is also very nice. And the result also, then the blessings come with that. So yeah, just be very careful of the claims that are there on the products as well. And India, it's very easy, in fact, because in India, you have all the raw products available already. But as a country, New Zealand is also very good in terms of, having, as my Prabhuji mentioned, the milk and everything is not contaminated. And milk is essentially very, very important. If you see Srila Prabhupada's preparations and everything like that in food, then making paneer or milk, it's very, very important. I remember we never used to even have paneer when I was in my, before marriage at my mother's home and all. I don't remember cooking paneer at all because that was not part of our diet. But after coming to Krishna consciousness, then we got that, taste, you can say, for paneer, especially after coming to New Zealand. But they say that when Srila Prabhupada actually traveled to Australia and New Zealand, the prasadam was used to be very opulent. And the reason for that was because the milk was it was very good quality and it was very nicely sourced. So then all the milk products, the sweets and everything was made. And so I just wanted to point that out, that just be careful of anything that you read. It doesn't mean that it's definitely fit for purchase. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, talking about food. Discussions around food. Yes, Hare Krishna. Sorry, Sanjeev, you want to say something?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for your nice class, and thank you, Mataji. And I remember, you always guided us what products and all these small things in there. I actually came across a couple of years ago about the app is vegan-free e-numbers or something like that. I don't have it at the moment, but all the e-numbers are in there, like which e-numbers is vegan, which one is non-vegetarian, and all that. So it's very, very difficult here if you buy pre-made or from packaged food and all that in Western world. As you rightly said, Mataji, that we should cook it from scratch. And I think khichdi is a good, good option. Yes, the best thing. So, yes, Prabhuji. I just wanted to ask one thing. When you were describing in the beginning, Narad Muni ji telling about this non-vegetarian or killing animals. So it seems like in that age or that time also people used to kill like duck shooting and all that for their own entertainment and all that. was that prevalent in that time also, as Narad Muniji said?
That is more to do with because the Narad Muni, again, this particular position is not on earth, it happened in some other place, because Narad Muni were traveling, and this was in Lord Shiva's abode, that's not exactly on earth, but these instructions are very relevant at all stages. Yes, so that way you can say that at every age, in every age, it is possible. You see, in the previous ages, in the previous Manu's time also, this I'm talking about in the other ages, not of this Manu, but other Manu. For Shraddha ceremony of the parents, when you do Shraddha, meat was allowed to eat. So there's a pastime about this, where how a person went to get the meat for the Shraddha, but he did not. He became victimized and all those things. But it was mentioned there that now in this current age, it is forbidden to have meat for Shraddha ceremony. You see? So there are many do's and don'ts. And it is one of those which are not applicable in Kali Yuga. What you should not do, forbidden. Like taking sannyas is forbidden. Marrying brother's wife is forbidden. Eating meat in Shraddha is forbidden as well. You see? But previously it was allowed in other ages. So intoxication was there everywhere. And these are, although the pastimes took place in some other realm, other dimensions, but still it is relevant on earth. And wherever there is Vaishnavas, it is relevant. And in every age, this was possible, this is there. So even in Sati Yuga, it may be very good age, but there are always some time factor in between where it was not good. Similarly, in Kali Yuga, where everything is so fallen and wrong, there will always be some ages in between, some time where everything is good. There's also there. So there's 10,000 years of Srila Prabhupada's books. If you are those who are studying Prabhupada's books very rigorously, very lovingly, scrutinizingly, they will be saved in some way, shape, and form. Yeah. So a sage like Srila Prabhupada are very much alive in a devotee's life. As long as a devotee is ready to follow, take the instructions, Srila Prabhupada is ready to give instructions, straight away, without discrimination. Open the book and study, he's speaking. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm trying to say, Ravi?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. So it's not like a cultural thing. Like nowadays, the society is like as Srila Prabhupada said, it's godless society, and this science is prevalent, and the culture is totally broken. The Vedic culture is broken. That's why these sort of things are more prevalent. Animal killing and all that. So before that, it was Vedic culture was there, but still people were allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Babaji. Sorry, Shita, do you want to say something? Unmuted your mic as well, I think.
You go ahead, Mataji. That's fine.
Okay, I just had one question that, like when you were describing the symptoms of a degrading society, the first symptom that you said was unnecessary economic development. That,
yes.
Sorry?
I said yes,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
right.
Unnecessary unnecessary economic development and unnecessarily technological advancement. So my question is that we see in today's world that there are so many gadgets and so many technology around that is, helpful in say cleaning. Like there are so many unnecessary equipment, I feel, just to help us clean. Like yeah, I can't think of examples right now, but like there are Roombas, there are
Yeah,
mops.
I can tell you, we've got a robotic cleaner at home.
Yeah.
Whom I call Hare. He's my favorite. Yeah.
So and we have like we don't have here in my house, we don't have those things, but I know that these things exist. And like that people go through so many, like you talked about also people taking like their bodies very seriously, like going through a lot of artificial things, or like going to the gym and cosmetic things that people are doing those things, right? So my question is just that what kind of a relationship should we have with these advancements? As in, like what to what extent should these be a part of our lives? And because while they do kind of stray us further away from simplicity, but they are also convenient to some extent. So how do we strike that balance in between what's necessary and what's not?
You'll be outcast otherwise. I don't want to have all those things. No, you should have. You fight with the parents, fight with everybody. That's all right. No, that's okay. The thing is this, that we should know one thing. With everything that the development so-called is there, is making your life a bit easy. There has to be some struggle in body. It should not be you're putting your feet up and then my robot is doing vacuuming and all that for you, and you're all right. You're required to move around, do things, get some exercise and all that. So not every gadget, or rather actually speaking, scientific advancement is done more or less to pamper our body. There is a summum bonum. More. Yes, the scientifically and medical is also there, don't get me wrong. But everything else is like, hey, it's easy to do now. Easy to do now. Now, microwave oven. It was not there in India. Not everywhere in India. Microwave. And do you know how does it heat? Microwave. Can you Google it? And can you Google? Somebody can Google and search out. Google out. How does microwave heat? What does it do? Does it use gas? Does it use wood fire, gas fire, or some other fire?
I think they produce some waves called microwaves.
Yes.
Which heat the food up because they're reflected within the metal of the
That's
oven.
right.
Yeah.
It's basically vibrating
is,
atoms.
Yes, vibrating the atoms, right? It's radioactive.
Yes. It was actually discovered in the Second World War, probably by accident. Yeah. The chocolate was melted.
If you put your Wi-Fi there, it disturbs the Wi-Fi for the radioactivity. Maharaj would give in the Bhagavatam class. I have not said it, I'm telling it for the first time. Maharaj said, yes, microwave is another obnoxious thing in the house, man. Maharaj says. What is this microwave? Crow, how can a crow help you, man? Maharaj saying, microwave, very happy. I got two microwaves. I remember Maharaj saying this, you got two microwaves, very happy. I've got two microwaves in my house. What will I say? Maharaj must be beating me up. You come here, rascal. 1, 2, and 3, and here, like, how many microwaves you've got, No, I've got 160, not 2, but the thing is this, that we do not know how this microwave is going to affect our body. We know the wood burning is good for health, there's no problem. But now they say also wood burning inside the house will suffocate your asthma and all those things. But remember one thing, there's something which is called Yukta Vairagya. Use it for everything for Krishna. Okay? We have got big devotees use big technology things all the time. I'm a little slow in using it. And Maharaj is super slow. When Maharaj got to know about the laptop, what is this nonsense laptop? What is this going on, this computer thing? Maharaj says everything is in the computer. Encyclopedia is in the computer. This your grammar is in the computer, and nothing in the brain. So at least we used to memorize things, man. Nothing is there. Maharaj used to go hammering on this point. I've got many quotes of this. I'll give it to you guys. But then Maharaj found out, one devotee came, Maharaj, look, there's whole verses also there in the computer. You can feed in the computer, and if I type this verse number, verse will come up. I said, is it? Show me. It's very good. This is how we should use computer. This is better for using. You have a versus, laptop is fine. And I got a laptop also, and laptop then broke also, and all those things are going on. But Maharaj use it for Krishna. The thing is this, that we cannot, today the situation is this, we cannot avoid it. If you can avoid it, do so. But you people are starting your life. And tomorrow you'll get married to somebody. And if you say all these things, they'll give a heart attack. Everybody will have a heart attack. Your family will have a heart attack. Everyone is dead. You're the only one alive. Don't do that way. That's all right. Use it for Krishna. All you young people, use it for Krishna, whatever you can. Simple life is always best life. So there has to be some austerity in what you do. At the same time, if you can use it for Krishna, you use it for Krishna. We have an air fryer. There is less oil fryer there. Oven is there, and all that thing is there. And we got, as I told you, Hare is also there. He vacuums like this. Last week only he vacuumed everything for me. Very nice. I chanted my rounds, he vacuumed there. Hare, that is best. Otherwise, you're vacuuming it for, it's good exercise. Like this, you're going on. It's a good exercise. So, but I will go out and do my farming and all that. So that is so good for me, gardening and all that. So that is how we use both. And I got my Hare vacuum cleaner when it was very new. First I said, well, I'll get my vacuum cleaner. It's working very nice. So my son would always complain, why do you call him Hare? Make him a personified. Hare is going to come now. I said, what do you mean Hare is going to come? The vacuum is going to come. So when he comes, everything closes off. We have to close the room, everything. He does his job and comes back. And we enter the room, all is clean. So that is best. Wonderful. So answer is this, that we have to use it to the extent we want to use it. Don't be dependent upon it. The moment you are dependent upon anyone, anything, you are finished. I must learn this because I don't know how to cook, So I'm dependent upon cook for cooking, So, but at the same time, apart from that, for many things, I can do my things. Apna Hath. Guru Maharaj, even at the age of Maharaj, till the last months of departure, last months, when disciples would be a little bit delayed, on washing and cleaning and all that, Maharaj would sit down and wash his clothes. And Maharaj would use bucket, half a bucket of water and half plain, no water. In half bucket, Maharaj would wash clothes and done. Perfectly, it would be very clean, expert in it. So Maharaj would not overuse water also. Overusing of soap is not relevant, not there at all. And perfectly would done. And disciples would run and say, Maharaj, but I was just coming. He said, no. This is good exercise for me, doing this and doing that. At my age of 90, it is good for me, exercises. So this is how it is. When some disciples would be a little delayed, Maharaj would be, I remember in one place, in Auckland, Maharaj was speaking to some devotees, and we gave them privacy. So we closed the door, we were outside, and we were talking. And suddenly the door opened and the devotees came out talking, So we said, Maharaj, he said, yeah, we finished 5 minutes ago. So we ran, knowing Maharaj would have, Maharaj, yes, Maharaj stood up from there, started to walk, climbed the stairs on his own alone. Did not wait for anybody. At the age of 90, quietly, slowly, walking this way, and going. Said, no, it's good exercise for me. So this is what we learned from him. And like him, there are so many other seniors also. So Maharaj was not dependent upon anybody, dependent only upon Krishna. But we use things, if we can, for Krishna's service. Like we're using our, technology to reach out, preaching programs and all that, So Maharaj is so happy about this. This is very best, Ambrish. It's very nice. Use this way, Otherwise, I say, what is this nonsense mobile phone? You people are always watching something in another phone, digging inside. But Maharaj, we use it for preaching. Oh, that is very good. Then it is very nice. This is how things are, and you will learn it as we will learn it. We will show you, and you will learn it. You show us. Not that we are perfect anyway, But Prabhupada did this. This is Prabhupada's movement. So I'll tell you one example of this. It will give you perfect understanding. Okay. Your question was that how do we do with this latest technological changes? Where the first point was that the unnecessary economic development is not needed. Okay. Now, Srila Prabhupada, when he reached America, and very, very initially, what disciple thought, his name is Garga Muni. So he's still there. He said, why don't I do one thing? We'll record the whole conversation of Prabhupada. So what you see recording nowadays, or Prabhupada's recording started from Garga Muni. So it was a new thing. Dictaphone was a new thing which came at the time. And he bought it. It costed him some money. He bought it and gave it to Prabhupada, So it has got all this, how to operate and all those things, So he thought, well, Swami, they also call him Swami at the time. There's no Prabhupada. The Swami are from a village in India, where your lights are not there, electricity is not there. This is America. This new invention, dictaphone, has come now. So I have to teach sannyasi, Swami, how to use this, Yes, Swami did a dictaphone, and I'll show you how to do it. Prabhupada said, no problem, just keep it here. It's okay. So he said, keep it here. He said, no problem. So he went out, and Prabhupada opened it, looked at it, and started to use it also. He kept using it. Immediately he started to use it. So he came back and he thought, oh my God, how is this? So he realized then that Prabhupada was not afraid of technology. He himself picked up, used and started using it. And he used it nicely, dictaphone. And it became so popular there that Prabhupada realized the importance of it. That many times when Prabhupada give a class, they would record it. At the time, the recording is now, we are recording it on, we don't even know where it is recorded now. It's on YouTube, but where is it? Somewhere in the cyberspace, it has been recorded and all those things. At the time, you have to record it in a big, tape sort of things, It go round, to record it this way. So once the recording tape is over, it would cost them some $3, $4, $5, $10 to buy a tape. They didn't have money for that. So they would remove the tape, get another tape, put it in, and then it would start recording. So Prabhupada would give a class, and the tape would finish. When they would finish, so by the time they would stop to replace the tape, it would take a few minutes. Prabhupada would stop during the class. They would replace all these things they would do, starting, done, okay, then Prabhupada start the class, Prabhupada. This is where he used technology, and today we are benefiting after so many years. It will benefit for next 10,000 years and more. So this is what we use technology for. Is this okay? So we are not afraid of technology. If we're not afraid, we can use it. If we're afraid, we will not be able to use it. Yeah? And we are not slaves of technology. We don't need it. If it's there, we'll use it. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Okay? That's the point. Is this okay for you?
Yes, that's perfect.
Thank you. It was not a simple answer how to give you this elaborate background things. Okay. Wonderful. Sorry, somebody was saying something around the time?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I got one question.
Yes, Hare.
Thank you very much for your very nice class, Prabhuji. I think it was very instructive as well. A lot of points that stood out for me, because I think I was looking for the answer of some of the points, and that was answered during the session. So it was, thank you for that. Prabhuji, I just wanted to want a clarification on one point that you mentioned earlier when actually during the lecture, where it says, where you referred Lord Krishna is actually instructing that one should be satisfied with what they have, and whatever comes on its own accord. So I was actually sort of speculating what that means. So can you able to shed some more light on that point, Prabhuji?
Yes, it's a good question, good point. This is for a little advanced information, may not be very relevant for new beginners program devotees. But the thing is this, that after some point in time, we don't have to do extraneous things for getting the results. It will come. If it is destined to come, it will come. There is a point. This is relevant even in Ramayana. This is mentioned that those people who are very much who do not do super extra work, atyahara, prayas is this, over endeavoring for work. Whatever come of its own accord, they're happy with it. This is not relevant at the initial stage of devotional service of life. Because personally, I have moved mountains to achieve my goals. Impossible things. I'm telling you. This is a fact. Okay. Very atyahara to achieve my goals. I've done it. And I could see results came. But it was impossible to do. But today I realized that if it had to happen, it will happen anyways. You don't have to, it may come in a different form, but ultimately it will come. Like I give an example in the past, it was my birthday, one day. And some devotee called me for the program in their home. So my son said, well, Dad, we didn't have a birthday party. I said, don't worry, we are going there. There's a party there. Don't worry about it. So the devotee in the program, they made 56 chappan bhog items, 56 items. They offered to Krishna and gave it to me. All of us. He didn't know it was my birthday. Till now, they don't know. But we had chappan bhog. I looked at my son and winked it. So see, 56 items you got now? He said, yes. Why do you worry whether I give party or somebody else give the party? 40% is coming to you, That is important. This is the meaning of Krishna consciousness. It comes on its own accord, Is this okay? So right now, with family, young, you have to work hard. But always remember, working hard is in your hands. Results are in Krishna's hands. It is a myth that people say that working hard means results will come. No, it doesn't work that way. Results are given by Krishna. But those who are devotees surrendered to Krishna and his will, they don't unnecessarily waste time in worrying about, learning about things. But as I said, again, I'm telling you, this will be after a certain age you will realize this point. But before that, you have to still work hard with family, and all those things, the children, their marriages. It's like a mountain to cross, with all these things, issues, the families and relationship and long-term relationship and members and, relationship, and so many things are there. But at the end of it, for now, our knowledge is that we should know results are not up to us. But around the age of 45, 50, we must slowly start to realize that ultimately everything comes as a on its own accord, as per our own karma and as per Daiva Nitrana, with the mercy of the superintendence of Krishna. He supervises things. We're very happy with that. Yeah. But that should be the ultimate aim. The earliest we come to this position, the better it is for us. It's the karmana daiva netrena, normally it's said. By karmas, mudhan karma, and by the superintendent of demigods and all who are responsible for giving ultimately Krishna. So with this, our action and reactions and our life is so-called, planned out. Our own actions and by the superintendents of the demigods. They bless us. Is this okay? So one has to realize it and work on this platform. The sooner we come to this platform, that whatever comes of its own accord, we're happy with it. Bhagavatam talks about this very much in many places. I'll give an example for this. What had happened was that Prahlad Maharaj, when after his father was killed by Lord Nrsimhadev. Prahlad Maharaj became the emperor of the whole world. And he one day went on an excursion, travel. We go for traveling, sightseeing and enjoyment. He goes as a king travel, but along with his senior ministers to search out devotees, and associate with devotees. So as they're moving around, he came to a place which is now South India. And there he found one person sitting sleeping on the road, side of the road. He would not even move, man. And he was quite plump, quite much chakachak, He would not even move. So he's, people started to say, what is this man? This man is not even moving. He should move at least, They are just sleeping nicely, like on the road. Nicely sleeping, and nothing doing anything. But something about him was different, Prahlad Maharaj could see his face, So he says, excuse me, sir, please tell me about you. So he gave Prahlad Maharaj the Jnana. He says, yes. People say that I'm fat and all those things, that's all right. People come and invite me to their home and feed me, I eat it, no problem. It comes of my own accord, I do. I don't work anywhere extra hard. I know the Supreme Lord, the Paramatma is in my heart. He controls everything. This is the point that Prahlad Maharaj understood. He's a devotee of Krishna, who's completely dependent upon Krishna. And people are giving him, so he's eating. It's quite plumb, But this is the higher stage of realization. You don't become plumb like this. If we not practice enough, first we will become half body, and then we become 1/10 of a body. Then we'll give up being Krishna conscious, Yeah, but we should come to this stage. We must come to this stage where we are dependent upon Krishna. He decides, we are happy with it. The sooner we come, the better it is. I have to qualify the answers because there are different grades of devotees in this program. If I give some other answers, they will not come to the program next week onwards. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to say lies. I don't speak lies. But I just said there is a way in which there are stages of development, That's what I was doing, nothing else. Is it okay? You got the answer, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, yeah. I think, because at this point, even means some of the questions, some people ask about working very hard and all that. Because when you're working for, in the career, means I had the struggle, means sometimes we have to do our duty, but I think we have to also make sure we have enough time for the devotional service as well. So there is a fine line, are we being loyal to the company or being loyal to what is more important to us? So that was actually I wanted to clarify.
Yeah. I have worked very hard. I used to work very hard. I was known for working very, very, very hard. You don't know. 7:30 when I would come home, my boss would say, half day Amrish, in the evening. In the morning, I would be reaching office about 8:30 or something, 10 o'clock, in India, So we worked very hard. Time was there. Now I don't. It's a different situation. I work hard in a different way. But still, I'm very lazy. Answering the question here is this, that there's an age in which one has to do things. Material world is such, But always remember, aim is to come to this position where you get free time. If Krishna gives you free time in the future, when money comes on its own, then you must make the most of it. Don't let it go. Don't let anybody or anything hinder that aim of achieving what you want to achieve. If you get this position where the Lakshmi flows on its own, that means you're very fortunate there. Very, very fortunate. Yeah, but you have to work hard for it. But still, after working hard, things are not in your control. So Krishna only controls things. But the blessings of the Parampara Guru, Parampara, senior devotees, Yeah. So we must come to this stage. We must come to this stage. Only then we are happy. Happy to live and happy to leave, both. Yeah, we're always saying Hari Bol to everybody, you know. It is okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your clarification, Prabhuji.
Thank you. It is for my benefit. Hari Bol. Yes, mother.
Yeah, thank you for the profound class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. That was very beneficial for me. Prabhuji, there was one point of burning karma that you have pointed out. So can you please just elaborate how I can or how we can burn our karmas? Like what is it means actually to burn karma?
Yeah, good question. Thing is this, that the process of burning karma is already given to us. Sincere chanting of the holy names. It's a yuga dharma. We should know. First thing is that we should know the process. We cannot burn the karmas just like that. I'll do some good work, so I'm burning my karmas. No, do good work, you're adding good karmas to you. If you're doing bad work, you get bad karmas to you. If you don't do work, still you're adding karmas to you. You see? By simply breathing, you're killing so many living beings. You're adding karmas to you. You know? So where is the end? It's a very complicated process. So especially for the grahasthas, for men especially, women also there, devotees are there. So, but we have to be very particular about our process, because this process we know is a yuga dharma. Somehow we have found out as per the scriptures. Other people don't even know what is the process to be done. I find so many devotees. One of them was telling me, I walk in Auckland from my home to the temple on Sundays. Austerities they perform. We don't know why. They would do it. You don't believe this. I saw them walking also. These austerities they perform. They think this is purity. This will give me, some whatever it is, karma, good karma, and all those things. Once, twice, thrice, I don't see them at all. They move to some other place, or they become some other devotees, some other places, some bogus thing, some Swaminarayan thing, Another devotee, they're not Indian, they would come and they would take circumambrances of temple so many times, 7 times. So I would say we were working, we were cleaning, but they would go into 7 times. one month, 6 months, 8 months. I don't see them anymore now. They're gone. So even after knowing, coming to this so closely, they miss the point. Everybody is wanting to do sattvic activities, purification activities. Somehow, by the greatest fortune, by Srila Prabhupada's, by Krishna's mercy, we have come in touch with Srila Prabhupada and Prabhupada's messages. Prabhupada always refers to scriptures for giving references. It's very important. There are many people, most of the people will speak their own thing. I believe, and they give you some big stories, but no solutions. No scriptural references. So whenever somebody is giving scriptural references, there is an authority behind. It cannot move. The reference cannot be moved. There are law books. Just like a lawyer, when there are 2 lawyers are fighting a case, they quote law judgments. They quote the law according to this section of this say this is allowed, this is not allowed, and according to that case over there at that time, it was allowed. So both this judge will say, yes, you are right. Your argument is more powerful than this argument. I'll award you the. Similarly, when we are a devotee, the Prabhupada are giving us the answer with cross-reference of the verses, then we know the yuga dharma is correct. Chanting of the holy name, remembering Krishna is a yuga dharma. I chant individually, I chant with devotees, I study Prabhupada's books. I make, wherever I go, I make into temple. A devotee goes wherever, makes temple and comes back. I can tell you that. A devotee will go anywhere, he'll make a temple and he'll come back. He stays in a cave also, he'll make a small altar somewhere, something is there. Even if deity of Krishna is not there, he'll do something there where there's a place for chanting or something is there. He will do it. Other he will draw some Krishna there or write down Krishna, Hare Krishna and worship there. He'll do it, no problem. So the process is known. When we follow this process thoroughly, first thing will happen is that our adding of the karmas will stop. So the past karmas that we have got, there has to be eradicated. It is said Krishna's one name. Just say Krishna. Say. This has eradicated more sins than we have ever accumulated in our lifetime, ever. This is a scripture saying. If we see with faith, it will happen. With connection. Even without faith, also it will happen. Also it happens. You see? So karmas we are removing all the time. Constantly we are removing. Constantly we are getting, constantly we are removing. That's the reason why a Krishna conscious lifestyle, the prasadam that we honor is also called Krishna. We are not vegetarians, we are not non-vegetarians, we are not vegans, we are Krishnatarians. As my friend says, simple, eh, Amrish? I said, yes. You offer to Krishna, then I eat. I said, yes, simple, no problem. Problem solved. So that way we are simple, Then we have to work on our own self after that. Our own behavior, our own thinking, our own actions. So that is within us. But the past karmas and all that are already moving out. Already moving out. There's a very nice sloka in Bhagavad Gita. It is mentioned this, It's, of course, it's not that simple, but it is that simple. What is needed is sincerity and faith, Is it okay?
Yes, thank you.
Is it all right? You got your answer?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. All right. Whose turn is it now to sing? Maharaj, please hear us.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Subhadra's turn to
Very good. Subhadra, it's your turn. Very good, Subhadra. आइए. कैसे ठीक है आप? हरे कृष्णा. अच्छा पहले ये बताइए डॉक्टर ने क्या कहा आपकी उंगली के लिए?
There's nothing wrong with it. But the specialists will see if there's anything. They'll call us.
So nothing wrong, right?
No, yeah.
Ah, hooray! So we can do more mischief then. No need to worry about it then. That's great. That's great. Where's Madhav? Madhav's all right. How's his ear? Madhav's ear is okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
His ear is fine. It's not hurting anymore.
Madhav, Hare Krishna. कैसे हैं आप? आप ठीक हैं?
Yeah.
Yes,
आपका
Prabhuji.
ईयर कैसा है? ईयर?
Good.
Good. Very nice. All the best. Hare Krishna Navina. कसे आहात तुम्ही? छान आहे. छानच राहा. Huh? Very nice. All the best. All the best. Okay, Shubhadra, let's start. Huh?
तुम्ही कशी आहात?
Oh, मी पण ठणठणीत आहे. खूप ठणठणीत. Thank you. Okay, Hare Krishna. Let's start, Shubhadra.
Start.
Maharaj, please hear us. Maharaj, please hear us. We have
Louder.
really good stuff.
We have learned some real good stuff.
Maharaj, we have learned one thing.
Maharaj, we have learned one thing.
And today for you we will sing.
And today for you we will sing.
If our room is clean,
If our room is clean,
then our mind is clean.
then our mind is clean.
If our mind is clean,
If our mind is clean,
we can do anything.
we can do anything. If our room is dirty,
So are we.
then so are we.
But if we are dirty,
But if we are dirty, we're not happy.
wasting time,
Wasting time
the greatest crime.
is the greatest crime,
Wasted time
because wasted time
means a wasted mind.
means a wasted mind.
Your time
So best use your time
when you're in your prime.
when you are in your prime,
Your whole life
and your whole life
will be sublime.
will be sublime.
If your wealth is gone,
If your wealth is gone, then there is nothing.
nothing wrong.
Then there is nothing wrong.
But if your health is gone,
If your health is gone,
that's a different song.
that's a different song.
If your character dies,
But if your character dies,
then the world will cry.
then the world will cry. Only saintly behavior
Let humanity thrive.
lets humanity thrive.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
We must always remember Krishna
We must always remember Krishna
and never forget him too.
and never forget him too.
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
That is the greatest question.
That is the greatest question.
Here's the greatest clue.
And here is the greatest clue.
Must run towards the now. You.
You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
So listen very closely.
So listen very closely
Make your thinking sharp.
and make your thinking sharp.
Krishna won't depart.
Let's learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
There's something tomorrow.
If something's due tomorrow,
Finish it today.
finish it today.
Whatever's due today.
Whatever you do today,
Do it now. Don't delay.
do it now, don't delay.
Your friends might be lazy.
Your friends might be lazy or doing bad things,
You think
but you think again,
about them,
don't follow them,
and you will win the end.
and you will win in the end.
Given your
Whatever work we're given,
do everything that
we do our very best. What we
you
need.
need to give Krishna thanks.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
Way. You learn to look this way. You'll see Krishna every day.
This is how to live, to work and to play. You learn to live this way, see Krishna every day.
When I time is up, he'll take us up above. We'll sing and dance with him with a heart full of love.
And when our time is up, he'll take us up above. We sing and dance with him with a heart full of love.
To chant Krishna's name, his glories and his fame, he's the only in this world who will ever become same.
So chant Krishna's name, his glories and his fame. It's the only way this world will ever become sane.
Now please ask this greatest question.
Now please ask this greatest question
And find this
and find this greatest
greatest clue.
clue. You
You can only remember Krishna.
can only remember Krishna if Krishna remembers you.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai, His Holiness Srila Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nishinitai Gaur Chandra Premanande Hari Hari Bol Shananda Koti Vaishnavanda ki Jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Mahavishnu Goswami Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pachayana Niveshesh Shundavari Pashakati Sarine. Hare Krishna. So with this we conclude our today's program. Krishna willing, we will see you next week. Same place, same time. Till then, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Ram.
Hare
Hare